Welcome back to Conversation with Buddy. I'm your host, Buddy Puckett. Thank you so much for being here this week. We really appreciate you. So we're into 2026. My challenge for you this year was to show up every week watching this podcast, getting to know someone in our community, and bring somebody with you. And what I mean by that is share this podcast with somebody, maybe even 10 people, and help them be encouraged. We're going to talk about perspective today. My guest today, as all of us, we all have trials and tribulations, and we're going to learn a thing about perspective. And I would say we're either going into something, we're in something, or we're coming out of something. And when I say something, what I'm meaning is a trial or tribulation or difficulty. So without further ado, let me introduce Miss Dany. Welcome. How are you?
Thank you. I'm wonderful. Thank you for letting me be here today.
It's awesome. Well, so you're not a duck fan, but you have a duck cup. Tell me about that.
Well, my very dear friend this morning asked me if I wanted coffee, and I didn't have time to make it myself. And so then she said, gosh, I don't know if I'm going to have time. It's okay. It's okay. I don't really need it.
Yeah.
And then she said she had all the ingredients, and I'm like, yep, then I definitely need it.
I do.
So she shows up with a duck's cup here, and my youngest, our family, our Beavers fans, but my youngest will have a fit when she sees that I have a duck's mug here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna hear it.
But you're a Beaver fan.
I am.
And your hair matches it.
Yes. Yes.
Cool. Well, thanks for being here today. So, Dany, you are an esthetician?
Yes.
What is that?
I take care of skin.
Okay.
Anything to do with your skin, anything crazy on your skin. I take care of facials, full body waxing, eyelash extensions, radio frequency and cavitation. That's lifting and toning of the skin, getting rid of unwanted fat in various parts of your body.
So you can do some work here on my face, I'm pretty sure.
I can. I
think Sean told me that we had came to you before.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Back at the Reed Opera House many years ago, I had her and your daughters. I don't know that I actually saw you as a client, but I saw the three of your girls.
She says that you did, and I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, I don't remember.
My wife has a better memory than I have, though. I'll just tell you that. So.
And probably better than mine at this point.
Well, cool. Well, hey, we're going to dive in. We're going to get to know about you. We're going to learn about your business, and we're going to talk about perspective. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
All right. So let's start at the very beginning. Where did you grow up? Tell me about mom and dad, your family. Did you have siblings? Where'd you go to school at?
I grew up in West Salem.
Okay.
And then left West Salem and went to South for many, many years. And then temporarily to North Salem. And now I'm back in West Salem, which is funny. I didn't think that was going to be a thing until God said that's where I was coming back to. I wanted to stay out South. So
why?
I just really love South Salem, and everything that I do or had been doing was all out South. And so when I was praying about where we were supposed to move to, God said West. And I thought, well, clearly that was you, because I wanted him to say that we were moving back out South. So my business is out West and my home is out West.
For some reason, I thought your business was out South. Why did I think that?
I don't know.
Okay. I was meeting with Mike Castronovo a couple weeks ago. You know who Mike and Tammy?
Yep. Very good clients of mine. Very wonderful
people. Your name
people.
came up. It's before I had Amanda on the podcast. And speaking of Amanda, she's over here, by the way, watching this. So hi, Amanda.
Hello.
But Mike Castronovo and I were talking about you. I mean, I know you.
Right.
But I don't know you well.
Right.
So, okay, so you're out in West Salem.
I'm in West Salem.
All right. By the way, when you drove up today, I noticed your license plate said "Be Still."
Yes.
We talked about that for a moment. You got that from Psalm 46:10?
Yes.
Okay. Why that verse?
It's what God told me. My ex-husband and I had on our plates for the longest time the word teleo, which is funny because that was one of Amanda's sweatshirts. And he gave that to us a long time ago. It was the last word spoken on the cross is, "It is finished." So we used that in our wedding vows. And then things changed in our lives and my license plates changed. And so during some of those trials and struggles and God, what next? I've continued to hear from him, "Be still." It is really a challenging thing for me to do. I have it tattooed on my arm. It's on my license plates.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
God continues to tell me to do that. And again, it's something that I struggle with. And as a matter of fact, this morning I was praying, okay, Lord, Teach me to discern when to serve. I'm excellent at serving. Teach me when to sit at your feet.
Yeah. We can get caught up in being busy.
Yes.
We think that we're serving, but really, from what heart are we doing it from? Is that kind of the issue? Are we doing it from the heart of God, or just trying to be busy to fulfill maybe a void in our own heart? What is that about? I mean, I think we all do it.
I think the busyness is something that I grew up with. My mom was always on the move, always doing. And I really have a huge heart to serve. So my business is truly a cover for ministry, which is funny. And everything that I do is in service to others. And I love to serve. It's easy for us to do, for me to do. It's uncomfortable to just sit. Especially for somebody like me who has ADHD and whose mind goes and goes and goes and goes. Yeah. And so I always have to be doing something. And I'm a single mom of 2 little girls. There is so much to do all the time. So sitting and being still is a huge struggle of mine. I want to do that, but being able to do that or finding the time at 11 o'clock at night when I am so tired, I'm ready to lay my head down and go to sleep, you know. It's a challenge.
Yeah. Well, I think what I'm getting from you is that you're really seeking the Lord, though. This is really important to you.
Yes.
Has that always been something that's been important to you?
Very much so. Very much so. I grew up in a house where we all believed in God, but God was not the center of my parents' lives. He was not the center, but it was definitely a God-fearing house. And so my parents made sure that we went to Sunday school. They'd drop us off, or the bus would come in and pick us up, or we got involved. I got involved heavily in youth group growing up. And I remember the first time I audibly heard the voice of God, I was 17, sitting in church, and the pastor had asked the question, what is love? And immediately in my mind, I heard the word sacrifice. And so it was the first time I recognized truly hearing the voice of God. And then when I turned 26, I have to say that was kind of when God really started sending people to train me. So he put all kinds of people in my life to just start equipping me for life, for warfare, for a really in-depth walk with him. So good 25 years solidly of working, walking, obeying God.
Yeah. Okay, so you grew up in West Salem.
Yes.
I want to know how your parents impacted you. And do you have siblings?
I have a younger sister.
Okay.
And I have an older brother. He was from a previous marriage, so he didn't live with us. So in our household, it was just my sister and I.
Okay.
And I'm a collector of people. So I have a little brother that I adopted many years ago. He's the same age as my sister is.
Okay.
So to look at the two of us, you wouldn't know that we were not actual siblings. But my little sister is my full everyday sister.
Right. Well, tell me about mom and dad.
I had 2 very loving parents.
Yeah.
My dad worked really hard. My mom worked really hard. She had a small business. We had a good home growing up. It wasn't perfect, but we had a good, healthy home growing up. You know, I knew where my parents were. Everybody was sober.
Yeah.
The lights stayed on. We were well fed. We were well taken care of.
Yeah. What's the lessons that mom and dad taught you, and who do you think you resemble most, your dad or your mom? Where do you get your traits from?
My parents were... My dad is gone, but my mom is still here. Very hard workers. Yeah. My mom used to always talk to me about your reputation. It is really important to have a good reputation. And not just because you're trying to impress others, but your name and your behaviors and such, they follow you. And perception truly is important as well. As I've gotten older, I often think that I don't care what other people think, because I just can't go around pleasing other people.
Right.
However, at the same time, I do care what they think in the aspect of, and a girlfriend of mine had said this to me, is that I value what people think because I want to know that what I'm trying to put out there is really what other people are seeing about me.
Yeah.
It's not that I find my value in them,
Right.
but I do value what they think, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I like how you said the however word because, there's a verse in Proverbs that says, the fear of man is a snare, but he who trusts in the Lord will be exalted. And I think oftentimes we walk around kind of fearing what man thinks of us and not worrying about what God thinks of us.
Right.
But I think if we really focus on what God thinks of us, it actually takes care of man. But I think your however is like still perception. Sometimes we still act like the fleshly people that we are. So we have to be really careful about that. So I totally understand what you're saying. And perspective, perception is reality.
Right.
There's toward you. So what would be some things that people look at you and go, this is how I perceive you, Dany? What would that look like? Positive or negative? Have you ever thought about that?
Of course I have.
Okay.
And my ideas of what somebody thinks about me are oftentimes not what they think about me at all.
Yeah.
Or what I don't realize that they think about me is interesting to have those things come back. And I think, okay. I didn't see that. I didn't see that in myself.
Right.
I'm not terribly self-focused.
Okay.
I hear so many fellow business owners will say, well, I'm really looking at what this person's doing over there, what they're doing in their business, and they can tell me all the things that are going on in the community. I don't have any idea. I am too busy working.
Yeah.
And my head is down. And sometimes that's a smart idea, and sometimes I should probably be looking around to see what is going on around me so that I'm not recreating something that's already been created.
Yeah.
So I'm not paying attention to everybody else. And that whole thought of what God thinks about me, I'm really focused on that. Whereas sometimes I ought to be focused on what others are perceiving about me as well.
Man, I think it's a could be a double-edged sword because I think we can focus on what man thinks of us and try to appease them. But I actually like where you're at. I think that God's your priority, period.
Right.
And if you don't like me, well, there's the line. And I don't think you mean that in a bad way. It's
No.
like, this is who God's called me to be, and I'm going to do it the way he's wired you a certain way.
Right.
And you are a worker, right?
Very much
and
so.
I think we're supposed to work unto the Lord. And so I think sometimes we could be out there trying to solve all the problems of the world and actually not doing our job.
Right.
So I think I would take your side anyway. I'm guilty of doing both, where I'm out, being busy, but I don't really do anything, right?
Right.
It may look good or sound good, but the facts are we got to work. So I actually dig where you're at.
Thanks.
So good job.
Thanks.
So you moved out to South Salem, back to West Salem, North Salem. Where'd you go to high school?
North Salem High.
Okay.
When I grew up here in West, we didn't have the opportunity to go to West. It was
didn't
either,
exist.
so it was either North or South. Most of my friends were going to South, so therefore I wanted to go there. And my parents said, no, we're actually going to send you out North. And looking back now, I'm really glad that they did because there was such a diverse group of people there.
Yeah.
And I was just having a conversation with Amanda and her husband, who also went to North with me, that there were the preppy kids, the stoner kids, the headbangers, the Hispanic kids, the, rappers. There were so many different people, the jocks, and I was friends with everybody.
Yeah.
I didn't have one set people group, and I think that it made me so much more well-rounded that way.
Did you do any sports or music in high school?
I played volleyball, and I was not good at it. They recruited me because I'm like 9 feet tall.
Yeah, you're
and
tall.
so
Very
they
tall.
thought that I was going to be able to spike the ball. But truth be told, I am a very dense person.
Yeah.
I weigh a lot. I may not look like I weigh a lot, but this girl cannot jump.
Jumping's not your
So
thing.
it is not my thing. I'd like to think that it is. No, it's not.
So volleyball was your one sport, though.
It's my one sport. and
Okay.
I wasn't great.
Did you play all 4 years?
No.
Okay.
No, because I wasn't great. I did play basketball with all the neighbor kids, and I loved basketball. That was fun.
But you never played that in high school?
I did not.
That's interesting that they didn't recruit you for that as well.
Well, probably because they could see that I couldn't jump.
Okay. That's funny. That's funny. After high school, what'd you do?
I was going to head into the medical field, actually. So I graduated. I didn't graduate early, but I had a full-time job and I went to school full-time my senior year. And then I went right into what I thought was going to be my career in nursing.
Okay.
And then I just kind of kept on working. And so I didn't go back to school, which was beauty college until I was 36.
Okay.
So I worked in the medical field for a while, and then I went to the state police, and then I went into insurance on another side for the cities and counties of Oregon.
Wow.
And then my life went up in flames due to a loss of a husband. And at the end of the day, I ended up going to beauty school.
Okay.
And having another jumping off spot.
So take me back a little bit. When did you first get married?
Well, I had a practice husband at 21.
Okay, at 21 you got married.
21 I got married.
You said a practice husband.
A practice husband.
What does that mean?
It means that looking back now, I can tell you that God was really telling me back then not to marry this person. Very kind person, very kind man, but I just wasn't supposed to be married to him. And God threw every opportunity for me to get out, and I didn't. I just didn't understand at the time to catch those cues on his part. So that marriage didn't last very long. But I married my late husband when I was 28. So second time around, he'd been my childhood sweetheart. So I had adored him. We had adored one another since we were 10.
Yeah.
So I married him at 28. And the second time around, I begged God. I prayed and prayed and prayed. First time I didn't pray about it. Second time I prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed, and God allowed that to happen. And then he passed away at 31.
How did he die?
Suicide.
Okay.
And
was he a believer?
At the very last minute, he came to God. Truly, by the skin of his teeth, he came to God.
Yeah.
So then I married my girls' dad at 37.
So prior to that, you had no kids?
No.
Okay.
No. And I thought when my late husband had died, I thought that was it. I thought that was my opportunity to have kids going out with the wind.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was an opportunity. So I just resigned myself to be a good auntie to everybody else around me.
Right. Okay. Go back a little bit. I want to hear about the third marriage. You said you accepted Christ at 17?
My house, we'd always had God in our lives. But when I think that I really got into my faith and my relationship with God, that was 26. But God was always there for me.
Okay.
He was always it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, there was not ever a, gosh, I don't believe in him, or I don't know him, or something like that. But when the rubber met the road, it was 26.
26. Okay. But you said something happened at 17, though. What was
I was just sitting in church one day.
Okay.
And I just heard the pastor
God
ask me that.
spoke to you.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think we all have our own journey that God takes us down. And I was 28, by the way. I kind of grew up in church too, but I was not paying attention, apparently.
Correct. Me too. Me too.
I was doing things I shouldn't be doing. But God got a hold of my heart. And when he did, it became his fully, right? So that was prior to your second marriage?
Yes.
What was going on there? What was the thing that really convicted you?
I don't know that there was a conviction there per se. It was just that God just started sending me these people. And, you know, he's pretty tricky. You know, when he wants
he's good, isn't he?
He is really good that way. And I remember this woman asking me one time, she said, you know, Dany, would you tell people about your relationship with God? And I remember thinking, you know how sometimes you look back and you think, I sounded so ridiculous. But I remember saying, well, you know, I very much believe in God. And if they came and asked me about it, I'd tell them about my relationship. But I wouldn't go out and just speak, which is hysterical now, because you will talk to me on the bus for 2 minutes and you will know absolutely that I love me some Jesus.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny where I think that, you know, when my late husband died, I remember telling somebody, well, you know, at least I led him to Jesus. And if I never lead another person to Jesus, then it's fine. Oh my gosh, how stupid. Yeah. God already knew what I was going to do and that my heart was going to be to lead people to Jesus.
That's so good. This is heavy. So you got married, got divorced, got remarried, your husband dies.
Yes.
Tell me about this. You got remarried.
Yes.
Let's walk through that journey.
So after my second husband passed away, I remember just crying and talking to my mom. And I said, I am not ever getting married again. And she said, I know you might feel that way now, but someday you might change your mind. Yeah. And I was really not open to that. And then at some point in time, within the next couple of years, I finally said, okay, God, if you have another husband for me, then you do it.
Yeah.
You do it. Finally, the third time I got it right. This is up to you. You made me. You know what I want. You know what I need. You know who I am. You know who would be best for me. So seal my heart, seal all of my body so that I don't get into any circumstances, situations that I ought not to be in. Yeah. But you do it. You let me know when it's time to open my heart to that person. I'm just passing the buck to you.
Yeah.
And so what was really cool about that is that all of a sudden there was a partnership between me and God. So now it wasn't me, first of all, not even asking the question, then second time begging, and then the third time finally walking into partnership, because that's really what God wants with us, is a relationship, not just a, hey, you have to follow my rules, but hey, why don't we do this together? Why don't we talk about these decisions together? And that time, that was the right thing. And what was really cool about that is that then I went on so many dates. And it was so much fun because I knew that I wasn't in danger of giving my heart away or anything that I shouldn't be giving away because God was going to let me know. Yeah. And I could tell you within 2 minutes of any given date, not it. And it got to be where my first question of any man was, tell me about your relationship with Jesus. And I remember somebody saying, well, we have this understanding. And I laughed and I thought, nope.
There's no understanding there, man.
No, that's not it. That's not it.
Yeah. Okay. After your husband passed away, you were how old were you at that
31.
point? You were 31.
Yeah.
Heartbroken.
Devastated. Absolutely devastated.
How long until you decided to go back dating? Until God spoke to you and that you met this new guy? So
my girl's dad and I had been friends because of my late husband, actually. And so we'd just been friends for all of this time. Yeah. And there was kind of this mass exodus of people that left my life after my husband died. And just a few people walked back in. And that was a real big eye-opener because not everybody has the grit to do the hard stuff. Yeah. And losing him and all of the things that came along with that, it was a pretty gruesome story. Yeah. And not many people wanted to be a part of that or walk through what that devastation was going to be. But he was one of those people that walked in. So he kind of walked in and then he didn't leave. And along that line, he had made some choices, and I broke up with him for quite some time and didn't talk to him. And then that's when I went on all of these other dates. And again, with every person that I went on a date with, and I could tell that they weren't it. Yeah. Once my husband had come and I was watching him walk with God, I was like, wow, that was a different thing. That made me take note. And he was the one person that I couldn't tell you he was it, but I couldn't tell you he was not it. And that was the big difference.
Okay, so you guys get married, and he's coming out of a divorce, or where's he at?
No, he'd never been married.
Okay, and then you guys had kids?
Yes.
Okay.
Which was not the plan.
Okay.
When we got married, he had said, hey, I don't want to have children. Yeah. And because I thought that wasn't a thing anymore, I agreed to that.
Because he's in his mid-30s as well?
Yeah. Okay. He's 4 years younger than I am.
Okay. And how old are you have 2 daughters?
I have 2 daughters. One is 8 and one is 10.
Okay. Wow, yeah.
They're hysterical.
I can relate. My daughter's a little bit older, as you know, but 8 and 10, that's a sweet age, though.
Yeah. They're so much fun. Yeah. So much drama.
You gotta love it, man. Yep, I totally get that. What's that season look like being remarried? And I know there's some stories there maybe we can talk about for a little bit.
Yeah.
So walk me through that a little bit.
So when we were about to get married, there was this part of me that felt that I was betraying my late husband. And it's interesting. One of his great aunts came to me, and she and her husband had both respectively lost spouses. And she said, I want to let you know that it's okay to marry this man. One love does not replace another. It doesn't X anything out. It doesn't discount. It's okay. And somewhere I think I needed to hear that. Yeah. And so then my prayer became, Lord, I want to love this man with everything. I don't want to hold anything back. I want to be all in, but I need you to help me because there's that part of my heart that's, been damaged by loss. And I just want to love him all the way. And what was really cool is that God was so honoring to that. And I went into that loving him all the way. It was really cool.
Yeah. How and you guys were married for how long?
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
Okay. What's it look like now?
He is not in the picture very much at the moment. He's in prison right now.
Okay.
And so it's just me and the girls.
Yeah. And how are your girls doing with dad being in prison?
I think they are as healthy as they can be.
Yeah.
They definitely have their struggles, but their mom is healthy.
Yeah.
Our household is healthy. God is in the center of everything that we do. Our friends are healthy. So we do a lot of talking, a lot of processing, and they're allowed to have their feelings. And I don't minimize things, and I let them speak. And I don't try to fix, even though I really want to. I don't want their hearts to hurt. So I just try to walk them through. Like the Christmas season was a little bit challenging for them. And I said, well, here's the thing. It's okay that you have the feelings that you do. We're going to have those, but we're also going to have so much joy at the same time. And sometimes you have sadness and joy at the same time, and it's okay.
Amen. So how long has he been gone?
6 months approximately.
Oh, so this was really
It's
fresh.
real recent, yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, it's a tough season. I know the holidays can bring out about, there's a lot of broken families. I always say 50% of marriages end in divorce. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
And my question always is, the 50% that remain married, which of those are teetering on divorce?
Right.
And I think if God's not a part of that, there probably isn't a ton of hope. And I'm not even saying even in the church. I don't know if you've heard this before. If you read the Bible one day a week, it has almost no effect.
Right.
Twice a week, almost no effect. 3 times a week, almost no effect. 4 times a week, you can start seeing a change in the heart. And so I would say for married people, Jesus is the answer.
Absolutely.
Reading your Bible is the hope that we have. And so I think as a married guy to my wife, I try to read the Bible every day. It doesn't mean we have a perfect marriage.
Right.
We're still humans, but it gives a lot more hope to our marriage. And so, yeah, it's marriage is a tough thing.
It is really tough.
It's humbling and go ahead.
People don't tell you when you get married that it's going to get hard. It's going to get real.
Yeah.
Everybody has this idea of, finding somebody that, they think is attractive and, there's all of these sparks there. And so then you get married and you're all excited, but then you don't realize that marriage down the line gets regular. Gets into every day, and you are raising kids and you're going to work and you're paying the bills, and sometimes you wonder how you're going to pay the bills, and that kind of stuff is not fun. And I think that's where people lose that desire to keep on going when things get slim or boring. And sometimes life gets boring. Sometimes marriage gets boring. Sometimes you forget to date one another. Those things are super important. And I know for me, how do I say that? I did not see the separation coming. I did not.
On your last husband?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did not see that.
Okay.
Because we were just doing regular life. And it was so good. It was so good. But when you stop talking, and I always do check-ins, how's your heart? How's your heart? How's your heart?
Yeah.
Is there anything that I need to be doing different? Is there something that you need from me? Am I annoying you? I'm a really good communicator. I want to know. But if you don't tell me that something is lacking, I can't fix it. I am not perfect. by any means. I am a good wife. I am a good mom. I am a good friend. However, I'm not perfect. So if I'm driving you nuts or I'm not providing or meeting a need and you don't tell me, I can't fix it.
Yeah.
And so that's just, and having those conversations is rough. And having a conversation like, just because you're married doesn't mean that you're dead. Doesn't mean that you don't find somebody else attractive or exciting. That's normal. We're human. But it's what we do with those things that is important. So when you ask, hey, is there something that you need from me that I'm not providing? How is somebody really going to come home and say, well, gosh, this person over here is really attractive and they're saying these things to me and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Nobody wants to have those conversations. However, brave communication and that transparency does create intimacy. And if you can say to one another, hey, I'm really struggling with this, or I'm needing this, and being the partner that's open to hear what your spouse has to say, while it may not be fun and it's really uncomfortable, again, that transparency creates the intimacy between the two of us. Then there's a conversation that we can have and we can work on things. But if we don't talk,
don't know.
We don't know.
It's a big word, brave communication. Was there some signs that, looking back, that you just missed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would be a sign? I talk to a lot of guys. I hang out with dudes, right?
Yeah.
I'm mentoring disciple guys, not for just their benefit, but for my benefit as well, right? We're all dudes. And so what are those signs that, from your perspective, were you seeing as you look back that there it was, I just didn't see it? What was that?
Little kids change the dynamic of your relationship. And what I believe is men are really easy. You don't require a lot. And I do not say that in any sort of disrespect whatsoever, but as long as you are, as long as you are, I always refer to it as, as a dog. Pet behind their ears. Love on them. Feed them really good. Take them for walks. Let them sleep on the bed. Really love on them. Take good care of them. You men you'll be happy.
I think you're right.
But sometimes, especially when little kids come around, wives turn into moms. And that's the natural progression of things. But women then forget that it's still important to meet the needs of your husband. And as I look back, I was really trying to do those things, but I was trying to juggle so much stuff by myself. And that I'm also a really good worker. So when things are lacking in other places, then I will pick up the slack rather than holding somebody else accountable and asking for them to pitch in and be present.
What's that word? Enable? Is that the word?
Yes.
Would you say that's the word? It's interesting, though. I think a lot of relationships, kids do cause, well, I won't say cause, but it's a distraction a little bit because your focus is no longer on your spouse, it's on your kids too. And we all go through those seasons. And something I learned a long time ago, I wanted to be a good dad and a good husband. And trust me, I haven't arrived and nobody arrives. But things I always asked along the way was, how do I be a good husband? How do I stay married? I wanted to stay married. And making sure the priorities of my family were right. That Jesus was number one, my wife was number two, and my kids were after that. And so when I come in the house, I go, girls, because I have two daughters, they're like, who gets the first hug? Mommy. Yep. Mom always gets the first hug. But they loved it. They needed to see me and my wife, loving each other, And I think a lot of guys miss out on about the women. I get that. You guys naturally nurture better than guys do. We're like, whatever, feed me and I'm good to go. Women are more nurturing. And but I think from my perspective, though, as long as I kept my wife the priority over my kids, I think parents get that wrong, where they make, well, kids are my priority. I'm like, well, how does your spouse feel about that? That's always my favorite question. Well, I don't know. Well, you should figure that one out. Like, that's a big deal. If you want to stay married, because the kids are moving out. You're not raising kids, you're raising adults, and they're going to move out. So what are you going to do about that? I think I see more divorce either in the first few years or year 20 when the kids have moved out. Like, well, who are you? And so that's a problem. I think my parents went through something like that too. It was like, and they stayed married till my mom passed away. They were married for just shy of 50 years, which is cool. Not a perfect marriage, but they did it, and that was pretty cool. But they confessed later on that after I left home, they were waiting for me and my sister to come back home, but we never really did. So I literally remember that, like, that's not going to happen. Kids, at 18, you're out. Mm-hmm. What? Yeah. Get ready. And so I always wanted to make sure I was dating my wife and making her my priority. So I think we can miss that though, right? And that's what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I think for me, because I didn't think I was going to get to have kids.
What a blessing.
A huge blessing. And that was another time that God audibly spoke to me. That's a pretty cool story as well. What I've also learned, though, is that sometimes God will speak to you, but he doesn't tell everybody else around you the same things that he has spoken. Right. And sometimes that's a little hard too. And so when kids came along, my husband had other things that he wanted to do. So in me trying to support him, I allowed him.
Or what?
No, his extracurricular activities. Oh, yeah, okay. He's really into motorcycles.
That's right. He was a motorcycle guy.
Yeah, he's a motorcycle guy. So, he's got friends that are really into motorcycles. Yeah. And so I allowed him, I don't want to say allow, but, I supported him. I said, go do the things that you want to do. I wanted to be that supportive wife.
Right.
And I'm going to take care of everything at home. And I was having a great time with kids. And again, remember, he said that he didn't want to have kids. And so when our kids came along, while he loved them very much, it wasn't what he had planned. He wanted us to be footloose and fancy free. Yeah. And so sometimes when our plans are different than what God has for us, sometimes that can feel like a disappointment.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was supportive and told him to go do all of these things. Mm-hmm. And I was having a great time. He was having a great time. But then it's really easy for the enemy to sneak in there and try to take you out. And the enemy tried to take out my husband a couple of times, actually, with motorcycle accidents. And the last one was really, really devastating. He had called me and basically said he wasn't going to make it home. He was sure that he was going to not make it home because of the motorcycle accident. And it gives me goosebumps now. How do you have that final conversation with somebody and know that that's your last conversation? And so we did the whole, thank you so much for being married to me. Thank you for all of the blessings and and our life together. And then after that part, we were like, okay, well, what else do we say? Because we are still on the phone. And so then
How long ago was this?
This was 8 years ago. My youngest was 2 weeks old when this accident happened. And this woman plowed into a pack of 50 bikers, killed 3 of them, and caused my husband's leg to be cut off. And truly, by the grace of God, he's still alive. He should not be here by all human aspects. Yeah. So the enemy tried to take him out twice and couldn't. There's been a huge call on his life. And so instead, the enemy attacked his marriage, and it worked.
Have you ever studied the verse, John 10:10? It says, the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. You know that verse?
Yep.
Because we're created in God's image, that's what God said in the Old Testament was we're going to create us in His image, and we're going to be like Him. Satan hates that because we're created in God's image. God created us, and whether we're believers or non-believers, Satan hates people because we're created in God's image. Was your ex-husband, was he a believer?
He was. That's ultimately what had me turn my eye towards him, because at first, he was not. Okay. And so then I remember him telling me that, you're my number one. And I said, I don't want to be your number one. I want to be number two.
Right.
And he didn't understand that. So that started the journey of explaining that God needs to be number one.
Yeah.
And so he made some poor choices. We broke up. He went to prison, and God found him there. And I didn't talk to him for a long time.
Was he in his late 20s, early 30s when he went to prison?
30s, early maybe he was still his late 20s. I can't remember.
Okay.
It was,
Yeah.
30-ish.
Yeah.
And I didn't talk to him for the longest time. I was done talking. I was done with all the antics.
Yeah.
I didn't have time for it. I'd already lost a husband who had gotten into, addiction and such. I wasn't going to go down that path with another one. And so somewhere along the lines, God got a hold of him. And then I can't remember how we started talking again, but I started noticing his walk. And it was really attractive.
Yeah.
And so I had been praying this one night and I said, Lord, I really want a godly husband someday. And by this time I had kind of turned the corner of wanting to be married again. Yeah. And I said, I've been through the crummy stuff with him.
Yeah.
But I'm noticing him doing the godly stuff. And I would really like to be a part of that. So if that's what you have for me, I'm in. If not, please give him an amazing godly wife. Yeah. And I said, however, this is where my flesh comes in. Please don't let him like her more than he likes me. Yeah. And then I thought, okay, well, if he's going to have another wife, he'd better like her more than he likes me. Yeah. And I said, but please don't let her be prettier than I am.
Hey, we're being honest, right?
Right. And little did I know that that's who God had for me. And when it finally came to be the time of him asking me to marry him, I went inside my head, Lord, did you hear what he said? He wants me to be his wife. What do I do? All of this inner monologue that seemed like 10 minutes was literally a half a second. And I remember God saying, this is it. This is your husband. Yeah. And what's so funny is what you think that you say versus what somebody hears. When I finally told him that I would marry him, in my mind, I said, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, we can do this. What he heard me said was, of course I'll marry you. I don't think I said that, but he swears that's what I said. So
that's what he wanted to hear.
It's what he heard.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay. What's the next phase of your life look like? I mean, you're in a, I always say we're going into a season, we're in a season, and we're coming out of a season. The trials and tribulations of life, we all do it, right? And the word says to consider it all joy. Not if you go through them, but when.
When.
Yeah. What's your season look like right now? I mean, is it just joy, Lord? This is where we're at, and I'm good?
This is where we're at. My heart is really good. People ask about dating all the time. Are you dating? Are you going to date? And I just say, no, I don't want to. My heart is full. I'm not anti-dating, but my heart is really full. I'm raising 2 girls. There will be time for me in my love life whenever God says that's time. Yeah. For right now, I'm focusing on them. I'm focusing on growing my business and going in a different direction there, a bigger direction there. My heart is good. I'm not lonely. I'm not aching for anything. I'm not missing out on anything. I don't feel like that. We're good. My soul is good. It's at rest.
Is good.
Yeah.
That's really beautiful. You mentioned it, so we're talking about business. I want to hear about your business, how we promote your business, and when you say you're going in a different direction, what do you mean?
So I own Miss Dany's place because I'm Dany, it's down on Edgewater.
Okay.
And I take care of people's skin, but I'm aging. And so everybody else around me is aging. And my target audience is not necessarily those that are 20 that are their skin is in perfect condition. However, I want them to have good habits. So I work with those people as well. But my bigger focus is our 30s, late 30s, 40s, 50s on up because our skin is aging and it's doing things. So where I had done simple facials before, some clinical facials. Now I'm starting to get into things that are bigger, like the radio frequency and the cavitation. And I'm contemplating going back to school for my advanced aesthetics license so I can do bigger things like with lasers. And there's so many different opportunities out there for me. I do not want to do things like injectables.
Like Botox?
I don't want to get into Botox. I don't want to put things into my body. Right. Now, I don't look down on anybody that does that. Yeah. However, aging is going to happen, and I would rather do it gracefully.
Yeah.
And because I'm in the business, I know too much, and I've seen too much, and I know the long-term effects of what those things are. I know that I know what happens. I have plastic surgeons as friends. And so they tell me, when they're doing facelifts on people, what they're pulling out of people's skin where they've been told, gosh, this is just going to dissolve into your body. Well, guess what? It doesn't. And then you look at the stars that have done all of these things.
I mean, the stars don't even look like real people after about 30 years.
They look
whoa.
really weird.
Yeah.
But there's this whole body dysmorphia situation going on that they don't realize what they really look like. So I would rather do things on the outside of the skin to improve your texture and your tone and lines and wrinkles. There's so many different things that you can do on the outside rather than the inside. So that's what I want to focus on. Is making a bigger difference by using other modalities.
Yeah. So are you continually going back to school to learn more things? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, I'm a constant student.
Okay.
I'm always gleaning from everybody else. I'm a sponge.
Okay. How often should somebody come and see you? Because I'm a guy. I would probably never even think of going. My wife and daughters do it occasionally, but how often should somebody come see you?
A minimum of once a quarter. You need a good facial once a quarter.
Why?
Just so that you are getting all of the dead skin off of your face, of your body, that you are getting your pores cleaned out, that you're putting good stuff into your skin. So at the minimum, once a quarter.
Okay. Interesting. So my wife and I often do couples massage when we're like on vacations or something. Is this something we'd come to you together or just do individual appointments? I mean, that would be kind of weird to try to work on both at the same time, or does that work that way?
In my space, it does not work that way.
Okay.
I do have an excellent massage therapist. So oftentimes what we'll do is one of us will be working on somebody while the other is doing the same thing, and then we swap. So there's opportunity to do that. And I always tell people that a good facial will rival any massage, but it's got to be a good one. You have to have the right practitioner, and not all estheticians are created equally.
Yeah. And you've been doing this for how long?
Officially 15 years, but I've been working on people's skin for much longer than that.
It was over Christmas. We were at our house when our family was over, and we were having this funny conversation about waxing. Women who wax their mustache or their face, or it was just funny. I mean, guys have hair in their back, in their ears, and
I take care of that too.
It's funny. I mean, it's kind of humbling to talk about, but it's just the facts of life.
Yes.
But anyways, it's a funny conversation. But I think my wife and I should come and see you, and it's interesting. We should do it every quarter.
Yeah.
So what else do you do besides facials and waxing? And you said all these other things.
Eyelash extensions.
Okay.
Body treatments.
Guys don't do eyelash, or I'm sorry, the eyebrow. What do you call that?
Manscaping is what I call it. I take care of a bunch of men. I do keep their ears cleaned out, their eyebrows, their nose. Nose waxing is huge.
That's funny.
Just making sure that you're putting your best face forward as well is really important.
It's funny. I'm getting older, and I see these older guys. They have eyebrows that stick out.
It kills me.
I'm like, dude, do you not see that? I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. That's what I don't want to be.
Right.
And so
the guys will be laying on my table, and I will say, okay, I just need to trim these up. And they are oftentimes, if they don't see me regularly for those things, they're like, oh, okay. I just make sure that they look nice, because here's the thing, you still have to impress your spouse.
Yeah, that's right. You have to look attractive to your wife or whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think guys get to the point where they don't really care.
But women do. We have to look at you.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think we should care. And,
right.
Okay. And your practice is in West Salem, will it remain in West Salem, or are you going to change and grow?
Nope. As far as I know, right now, this is where God has us.
Yeah.
Amanda and I have worked in the same building before, and so we really want to somehow get back together at some point in time. But when she moved into her new building, really prayed about that, and God said, no, you're supposed to be in West Salem. So keep on trying to get her to come back across the bridge. But
okay. So you've had Amanda cutting hair. you doing facials and all that stuff. Would there be, your massage person?
Got my massage therapist.
What else would be in
yep.
that? What if you had like this building that could house all these things? Would that be cool?
It would be so cool.
I mean, I see this as a business. I'm a business guy.
Yeah.
And I see this as a business plan.
It would be so cool.
Who else would be in this building? What would that look like?
The sky's the limit there.
Yeah.
What I would really love,
Yeah,
actually,
that's what I
is to have more of a health and wellness type situation. And, I've seen a lot of those businesses fail as well.
Yeah.
But I would love to have something that's kind of one-stop shopping where you can get your makeup done, you can get your hair done, your lashes, your skin, barbering for men, your massage, your stretching, whatever it is, nutrition. It would be great to have
One-stop
something.
shop.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
Well, I think what happens, we're in business, like you're in business, you're in West Salem, Amanda's downtown, and you're in different locations. But if you guys work together in the same building, you guys could cross collateralize clients, so to speak.
Yeah.
And build relationship.
Right.
How cool would that be?
It's really cool. She has people that, that's what we used to do. Now she's just got hairdressers at the moment.
Yeah.
But mine has, I have a barber. I have another.
Wait, you have a barber too?
I do have a barber. Yep. And he's excellent at what he does. He has Nomad Barber. He is excellent at what he does. And then I've got massage in there, and that's by Lauren Cusick. And then I have a nail gal that just came in with us, and her name is Sydney. She does a great job. So we've got a little bit of some different practitioners as well. So that's kind of cool. But it would be neat to have a little bit more.
Let's say somebody comes to you for an appointment, female, male, doesn't matter. What's an average cost of something like this to do a 60-minute facial or 90-minute facial?
Yeah, about $130.
Okay. I have a deal I'll make. If somebody comes to you in the next, 30 days and mentions this podcast, I'll pay for half of it.
Okay.
And that way we'll get more people out there come to see you, and that'd be awesome.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, so how many clients do you have currently?
Oh, gosh. That's a great question.
Yeah. And how do you keep in touch with them?
Well, my clients are regular, so I usually see them at least every 4 weeks.
No kidding.
Yeah. So as far as how many do I have? Gosh, I'm
20,
usually...
100, 200?
Hundreds. Yes.
Wow.
Hundreds.
So you have a thriving business.
I do.
Just people just love you. Oh, of course they're going to love you. You're Dany.
I'm Dany.
You're Miss Dany.
I'm Miss Dany.
And people get the authentic person.
Yeah.
And people always want to know, how do I become successful? I always just say, be authentic. Be you. Be who you really are. Don't be fake. Just be you.
Right.
So,
and when they're on my table, they get so much more than just a service, because my passion is people's hearts. And so that's where the whole ministry side of things comes in. I'm not preaching at people, but I'm loving on them and having these deep conversations. And God is always in my conversation, whether I'm strategic about it or I'm bold about it, because I know my audience, and clubbing somebody over the head with Jesus is not always the right way to go.
What?
So it's just really cool to, first of all, do life with people. I always feel so humbled and honored to do life. I get to hear everybody's stories, the things that they don't tell other people, I hear. And how cool is it that they trust me? Yeah. And I get to love on them, listen to them, offer sound advice, help them to see and encourage who they really are inside. That's huge for me. I want them to see who God made them to be, because if your insides are good, then it's going to show on your outsides. Amen. And if you're feeling not so great on your insides, that too is going to show on your outsides. Yeah. So it's not just about the surface beauty. Yeah. Truly for me, it's loving them and helping them from the inside out.
Yeah, yeah. I think beauty comes from the inside for sure. It sounds to me like you just love on people.
Very much so.
I'm just getting you actually love people.
Yeah.
Yeah. In my practice too, I have a practice as well, and I do finance, mortgage. I don't love mortgage. I love people.
Right.
I mean, I always tell people, like, I don't do it because I love my job per se. I just love people, and I love to show up every day helping people solve their problem, whatever it is. That's what truly gets me out of bed. It's certainly not doing a bunch of paperwork.
Right.
Right. So, well, Miss Dany, this has been a blast. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm excited to see where your business grows and how where it takes you. And my wife and I will be setting an appointment with you to come see you.
Wonderful.
It'll be awesome. And yeah, if somebody connects with you in the next 30 days and says, "Hey, mention this podcast," I'll pay for half of their cost.
Awesome. That's generous. Thank you.
Yeah. What else? Anything you want to leave with that you want to talk about that maybe we didn't cover?
And of course, now that you ask me this, once I leave, I'll think, oh gosh, I should have mentioned this. I should have mentioned that. I think because I do love people, but I love young girls and women. And I look at naked bodies all day long, men and women. And I don't look at people the way that they see themselves. Mm-hmm. And one thing I've thought about so much of the time, and I've done this myself, and it is embarrassing to say, I have discounted what Jesus paid top dollar for. Mm-hmm. And that is something that really pains me for other people. So I really want people to just know who they are, that they are important, that they are valuable, that they are not who their circumstances aren't what defines them. It's what they do with them. Yeah. So by nature, I'm an encourager. Yeah. And so I hear people come in and listen to them be down on themselves, and the heart for them just comes out, and being able to love on them and tell them how I see them. It's not the way that they see them. Yeah. We're so much more. We were created to be so much more. We were created to be extraordinary, not mediocre. God made us to be extraordinary. Yeah. And so when people ask me about myself, I don't downplay myself. I'm not perfect. I'm not, I'm not arrogant in that aspect, but God made me to do some things. And so I have a job to do, and I don't dislike myself. I don't run myself down. My body's not perfect, but it's housed my soul. Yeah. It's grown babies. It's carried me around this earth. Yeah. I'm valuable. Yeah. Well, God made you. So he doesn't make mistakes. Right. So, well, we're going to wrap up here real quick. And just to clarify real quick, I was thinking about this, like the first 10 people that actually, because if there's 1,000 people say, hey, I heard the podcast. I want to, just to clarify, let's do 10 people, and we'll go with that. I want to leave with a Bible verse. See if I can find it here real quick. So the Bible verse is this one here. Weeping may stay for the night, but rejoicing comes in the morning. That's Psalm 35. So, his mercies are new every morning. That's another Bible verse too. But, we all go through trials and tribulations. It's not a matter of if, it's only when. And the key word what we started with was perspective, is keep it all in perspective, because we're all going through something, and you might be going through a hard time. It's just for a season. It's not usually for life. So remember, we all go through it. And I think sometimes it's not about us. It's about what God's doing through us. And then the question would be, do you consider it all joy? Because that's what James talks about. Consider it all joy when you go through trials and tribulations. So, Miss Dany, you've done a great job of considering it all joy. I feel you are joyful. Like, it didn't happen to me. It just happened, and I'm okay with it, and God's got this. Yeah. Would you say that's true? Absolutely. Cool. Well, thank you so much for being here this week. Again, we hope that you'll join us every week, and we hope that you'll share this with somebody that you care about, and to get people in our community known, like Miss Dany, and help her build her business. And thank you, and thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having me, buddy. See you next week.